All right, guys. Haven't been around much because one, been busy, and two, we've been in a Oregon heat wave. We just had the most recorded days, consecutive days over 95 ever, which I know a lot of you are laughing, but we're not built for that here in the Northwest. That's hot. So, I wonder if I can flip it. You can see, I can't flip it, but a little bit of cloud cover up there, and it feels great out here for 85 degrees. So, anyways, got this package from Voltage Booster Pro actually several months ago. So I've been slacking on this. A lot of you know, because a lot of you have asked me about it. We've talked about it. I run the GM fuse to up the voltage of my alternator for my AGM battery. These guys reached out to me again a few months ago. We started talking, really nice guy, and they mentioned that the GM fuse doesn't actually work as a fuse once you do that because of the diode. Sorry, I'm watching a hummingbird here. Need to get their food out. So got to talking. He sent me this to try it. And so it's been sitting on my table just 'cause I've been so busy, but I want to get it installed because it's not hot. And I've been cooped up in this house for days in the air conditioning. So let's go open this up and look at it, and we'll kind of go over what it is real quick. All right, guys. So this is the switch. Comes with some really nice instructions. Again, Voltage Booster Pro. It was packaged all nice. You didn't need to see me unbox or open it. Voltage Booster Pro OG Model A for 10 to 19 runners. I am going to go through the instructions real quick because I'm not super. I think the factory fuse must go in there, which is fine. I have it. And so anyways, we'll get that installed. But quick recap, factory charging system was about 13.6 volts, which isn't enough to properly charge an AGM battery, which I have. With the GM fuse upgrade, charges at 14.4 to 14.6, so it's a pretty good boost. We're going to install this guy and see what it does right now. I'll probably grab the voltmeter and get a baseline with the GM fuse so we have something to compare. But let's throw it in and see what it does. I'm also going to link their website below. It's a really nice website. I skimmed through it. It's got some good information. So yeah, let's get this thing installed. Actually, let's go put the voltmeter on there and test the GM fuse first. So real quick, I just want to point out how nice, if I can get it to focus on this, quality piece this is. This is really nice. Labeled low and high. You can just tell it's built nice. This isn't some generic part. So yeah, good job on the quality. This is a nice fuse. All right, so I haven't done anything yet. Just came out and popped the hood and wanted to show voltage on a resting battery is 13.7, which might be a little bit low. Actually, it sounds about right. This is with the GM fuse in here, charging it over 14 volts. I rarely drive. I literally haven't even got gas in 3 weeks. I drive this so little anymore. My commute is like just a couple miles. So what I'm gonna do, actually grabbed the fuse that came out of there, and I'm going to pop out the GM fuse. I'm going to put the stock fuse in so we can kind of get a test of all of it. So I can get a voltage with the stock fuse, up a good baseline with the GM fuse, and then we'll pop in the booster fuse. And again, the booster fuse shouldn't do more than the GM fuse. They should be right in the same, but you retain the fuse functionality, and you also have a high-low setting, so you can give it a little more charge if you're in a situation where you think you're going to need more battery capacity. All right, I just did a couple tests and I got some wonky results. The battery in this thing was low. Actually, when I pulled it out, it had a date code of 2015 of when it expired. So shout out to Energizer for a battery that didn't leak, but yeah, we got a new one in there. So new baseline test of the battery just sitting 12.2, which is pretty low. So it's a little concerning. I'm curious what we're going to find out when we get to the GM fuse that I've been using. I have taken it out and I'm back to the stock fuse. So we're going to start it up and see what kind of voltage the stock fuse puts out. All right, so I don't know how well you can hear me, but we're running on the stock fuse and the test shows 13.6, so that's accurate. That's what we've always known a stock charging system to do. So again, 13.6, stock fuse. This isn't how I've been running it. I've been running the GM fuse that's sitting there. So now we're going to swap it in and see what voltage it does. Okay, so got the GM fuse back in. This is how I've ran this for a couple years now. Let's see what voltage we get. So 14, probably a little on the low side. Make sure we got a good connection. So 14.1. 14.1 on the GM fuse, which is right not enough to charge that battery properly. Let me shut this off and we'll talk about that. All right, so that is a little concerning because I always thought it was charging more than that. And it says right here on the battery that this battery recharge needs a float charge of 13.5 to 13.8, which we're not doing. The cycle service is 14.4 to 14.8. So if we're charging at 14.1, this battery hasn't been getting a charge. So that being said, I'm going to pull that GM fuse out and put the booster in, see what that does. And we'll start it on low, and then we'll see what it does on high. All right, just to note that the factory fuse does fit in there. It seems like it's too small, but it is meant to go in there, and it takes a little bit of force. But that is the factory fuse that this rig came with. Fits in there just fine. All right, so again, great instructions. I've already done this with that other fuse, so I kind of knew what I was doing, but it's nice to have these pictures just to reassure how it all goes. Good job on the instructions, guys. And so there it is, installed in place. The instructions say it's omnidirectional, but that's how it was in their pictures. So it just seemed like the right way to go. Factory fuse is in there, and I haven't switched on to low, so nothing more to do than let's start it up and see what voltage this is putting out. I believe if we read the instructions, I think low should be an additional 0.4 to 0.5. So if we're at 13.6, this should give us 14.1 on low. So let's see, which again, that's what the GM fuse was doing. So maybe that's not too low. I'll have to read. I'll have to research that a little bit. But yeah, let's start it and see what this is doing. All right, moment of truth. All right, so on low, it's doing basically what the GM fuse did exactly. So I'm curious, maybe I need to run it on high a little bit to kind of, I can't think of the word, but get the battery, condition the battery some. I'm gonna shut it off. I don't think I should switch it while it's running. So let's shut it off, kick it on high, and see what kind of voltage it's doing. All right, so we're kicking on to high. Let's see what voltage this is doing. This should do, I believe it says 14.6 to 14.7. And that's pretty much what we're doing, 14.5. It's a little bit of error in the reading, but so 14.6, I'm sure it'll go up a little bit when you drive. We're just at an idle now. So, interesting, okay. Well, let's shut this off and let's think about this for a minute. All right, guys, so I just sat here and scratched my head a little bit and thought about this, and it makes sense. So the GM fuse gave us 14.1, which is what we've been charging at this whole time, which is a little bit low for this battery, I think, and is why the battery voltage itself, when it's not running, is a little bit low. So the power fuse does exactly what it's supposed to, kind of matches that 14.1. It's the bigger added benefit is that you have a fuse that is still a fusible circuit now, whereas it wasn't with the GM fuse, because the GM fuse is just a diode. And then kicking it into high, again, did exactly what they said it would do and got us to that, what I believe it was 14.5, 14.6 range. I'm going to run this on high and see if this battery just needs to be conditioned a little bit, because it's basically been charging at 14.1 its whole life, which I think is a little bit low. So I'm going to run it at 14.5, 14.5, run it on high and see what it does. It can't hurt. This battery can take it and just give it a little extra charge. But bottom line, that power booster is a very quality product. Like, I don't know if it shows up on camera, but it's all labeled properly and just built stout. Adds the fuse back into the circuit and does what it's supposed to. It boosts voltage. It absolutely does. So It's a win. You know, they're not cheap, but none of this stuff is. And if you're going to run an AGM battery, because you're going to run accessories, you've got to do that, because on the stock fuse, your battery will not last. It will toast the battery. So, that being said, I think I like it. I definitely like it. We're going to run it for a while. If I have any problems or anything, I will report back. I don't anticipate I will, but it's good to get that in there. Again, I'll drop a link to the website below. Nice website, made in the USA, and it obviously works. So, yeah, good job, guys. All right, guys, I just wanted to end this by saying, you know, that fuse, that booster did exactly what it was supposed to do. So don't think that it didn't do its job because it performed the same and only slightly better than the GM fuse for cheap. It adds that fuse back to the circuit. It does exactly what it said, and it matched that GM fuse voltage on low, and at high, it was quite a bit higher, which I think is what that battery needs. I think the whole system needs that. So that's something I couldn't get with that GM fuse. So it's a good product. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It is more money than the cheap GM fuse, but I was wrong when I installed that GM fuse. I didn't know it removed the fusible part of it. I thought it still worked like a fuse, but in my discussion with these guys, they pointed out that it doesn't. So I'm kind of a little more rested knowing that I've got that fusible link in there, or fusible circuit. So again, thanks guys. The video's kind of scattered. I didn't intend on doing this, but I got home and it was not hot out because it's been so hot that I had to do something. Figured let's do this, and I filmed it real quick, literally just filming with my cell phone. So I've got other things I want to do, some videos that I've been kind of writing out. I kind of want to do some things with this. I know there's been some interest in this, even though it's totally not 4Runner related. I need to get this thing on the ground. For those who don't know, bagged and bodied mini truck that I've had for a long time. It's my first vehicle. So thanks everyone for watching. Links in the description below. I'm working on more videos. I got to get this garage done. Lots of stuff around the house. It's life, but it's all good. Making things work. And want to crank out some videos. So thank you everyone.